The world feels unusually quiet right now. It's the kind of silence that comes just before history takes a sharp, dangerous turn. Somewhere, behind closed doors, a decision is being weighed, one that could ripple across nations and generations. This moment wasn't born in a vacuum. It was sparked by images that refused to fade, images of people beaten in the streets for demanding nothing more than dignity and freedom. These images have forced powerful leaders to confront an uncomfortable reality. Ignoring suffering doesn't prevent consequences. It only delays them. As the pressure mounts, unseen forces begin to move. Not loudly, not publicly, but with a deliberate, quiet intent. Warships shift their positions on the global chessboard. Advanced systems, long dormant, blink back online. Strategies unfold, step by step, calculated and precise. All this happens while a warning echoes from the other side: any strike will be answered. This isn't just rhetoric, it's a promise forged in years of hostility and deep-seated mistrust. The air is thick with anticipation, and the world holds its breath, wondering who will make the first move. The problem with power, no matter how immense, is that it never comes with certainty. Every plan, no matter how carefully crafted, carries risks that no one can fully control. The most precise action can spiral beyond its original intent, triggering a chain reaction of unforeseen consequences. This is especially true in a region where history is written in cycles of retaliation and loss, where each generation inherits the grievances of the last. It's a landscape where strategic assets and civilian life are dangerously intertwined. Missile facilities sit beside sprawling cities. Oil refineries, the lifeblood of economies, are also potential targets. And the leaders making these life and death decisions hide behind layers of security, fully aware that they are both decision makers and targets themselves. There's a debate raging in the halls of power. Some believe that precision strikes or covert operations could weaken the system from within, a surgical strike to remove a threat. But others, perhaps wiser to the complexities of conflict, know that removing one piece rarely collapses the entire structure. More often than not, it just forces it to reshape into something new, sometimes even more resilient or dangerous. The old ways of war, with massive armies amassing on borders, have changed. While it's true that you can't materialize a huge force overnight, the ability to project power remains terrifyingly real. It exists in the silent depths of the ocean, where submarines carry overwhelming firepower, waiting for a command. It exists in the invisible realm of cyberspace, where digital tools can disrupt command structures and cripple infrastructure without a single explosion. Modern conflict doesn't always begin with bombs falling from the sky. It can start with signals disappearing from a screen, with essential systems failing, and with a quiet, chilling fear spreading through the corridors of power. But force is only one part of this complex game of pressure. Economic pain can be just as suffocating, just as effective. Sanctions tighten like a vice around financial networks, cutting off lifelines and isolating regimes. The world is watching. Prisons known for their cruelty become international symbols of an oppressive system, and the message becomes undeniable. Brutality carries a cost that can no longer be hidden. The international community is making it clear that there will be accountability, that turning a blind eye is no longer an option. Yet, as one form of pressure is applied, another unsettling truth emerges. The danger is no longer just from those in uniform or flying national flags. A new, insidious threat has appeared, one that travels as invisible energy, leaving its victims with injuries that can't be seen on an X-ray but permanently alter their lives. Diplomats and intelligence officers, people who believed they were serving their countries, have been left with debilitating neurological symptoms. This raises haunting questions. Questions about accountability, about the shadowy world of secret technologies, and about how far scientific advancement has outpaced our public understanding and our ethical frameworks. It forces governments into the uncomfortable position of investigating themselves, while the victims are left to wonder if the full truth will ever be acknowledged. They are casualties of a war they didn't even know was being fought. All of this is happening at once, a convergence of overlapping crises that serves as a stark reminder of how fragile stability really is. We are witnessing, in real time, how quickly the line between deterrence and disaster can blur. And as always, it is the people far removed from the rooms where decisions are made who often pay the highest price. It's the families in crowded cities, their daily lives overshadowed by the fear of what tomorrow might bring. It's the public servants who believed they were protected by their status, now finding themselves on an invisible front line. And it's ordinary citizens everywhere, watching the headlines with a growing sense of dread, all of us wondering how close the world is to another irreversible moment. This is where we must pause and reflect. True strength is not just measured by the ability to destroy. It's measured by the discipline to hold back, to weigh the immense human cost against any perceived strategic gain. It's the wisdom to recognize that every action, especially an act of war, leaves scars that no map can ever show. History is unforgiving, and it has little patience for leaders who confuse force with wisdom, who mistake aggression for strength. In moments like this, when fear competes with pride and the urgency to act battles the need for restraint, the real test of leadership emerges. The true test is whether humanity is remembered in the cold calculations of power. It's whether the lives of innocent people remain more than just numbers on a casualty report. It's whether power is guided by a profound sense of responsibility rather than by impulsive, emotional reactions. Because once that first move is made, there is no rewind button. There are only consequences. And the world will be forced to live with them long after the headlines have faded and the news cycle has moved on. That is why staying aware, questioning authority, and valuing human life above all ambition matters more now than ever. It is a reminder that the future is shaped not just by decisions made in silence by the powerful, but by the collective courage to choose restraint, accountability, and compassion when it matters most. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world.